It's the Wildcard Podcast. Let's get started.
And welcome back to the On Life Studios in Phoenix, Arizona. My name's James Mackey alongside Curt Arnold and Preston Grace for episode 16 of the Wildcard Podcast.
16.
This is the post-MLB Trade Deadline show where Justin Verlander got traded at the deadline, which was not something we were shocked by.
Stroh's back on top.
Yeah, credit to Chance for calling him going back to the Stros. That was a little weird that he got it almost on the head, but, you know.
I heard that Kate Upton might not be too happy because, you know, you go to New York, you make your whole family move for, 3-4 months, and then you're already
back in Houston,
shipping your shit back to Houston. I mean, they've been there for, they were there for not 10 years. It was a while, though.
Houston?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were there for quite
not
a
10
long
years,
time.
but it was a long time.
Then they sold their house, moved to New York, started a new life.
Yeah, well.
Back to it in Houston.
Houston summer is a lot rougher than a New York summer, probably. So.
It's, hotter.
people are a lot nicer in Houston, though.
Yeah, a lot less people.
That's true. Yeah. Well, more problems though in Texas. Let's just call it how it is, right?
I would much rather live in Texas if that's what you're saying.
I'd much rather be on the Astros right now than the fire cell.
Yeah, I would too, honestly. The Mets sold at the deadline. I think that's the bottom line for them.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing really anyone can say to convince me otherwise. You trade Scherzer, you trade Verlander, you trade
Frank the Tank has blamed it on the WBC already.
Yeah,
the World
honestly,
Baseball Classic.
Yes, he's saying the injury of Edwin Diaz has caused the downfall of the Mets.
I was
gosh.
saying that before the season started. Edwin Diaz kept that bullpen just together. He was the glue, and without that glue, everything goes away. That bullpen sucked, and it's going to continue to suck without Edwin Diaz.
The whole team just implodes.
It's too bad.
I'm talking about.
I mean, it's very. I don't know. Yeah, it's very rough as a franchise to have three clear-cut Hall of Famers, three of probably the best pitchers we've seen in the last 10, 15 years be on your team at one point. I'm talking about, DeGrom, Scherzer, and Verlander. Not all at the same time, but still two of them at the same time, which is insane. But they just couldn't get it done, and it's embarrassing, honestly. I'm glad I'm not a Mets fan. I'll just put it that way.
Glad to be a D-backs fan.
Yeah, I mean, not that we did much at the deadline other than, we got a good closer and Tommy Pham. But,
Jace Peterson?
Yeah. It's an Oakland A. There's nothing to be excited about there,
The open sigh of just disappointment that you just let out is just so funny.
No, the D-backs, they did what they could. And then, Hazen said, if we had a better, last month and a half. And I'm like, well, I didn't agree with that. But
If you made a trade sooner,
yeah,
Mr. Hazen, maybe things would be different.
Yeah, and it's like, how can you say, if we played better? Well, we've never been playing at this level before, so you got to pull the trigger to make...
You haven't played at this level in a long time.
Yeah, since 2017. It's been
when you should have been at the wild card game, but your dad overslept the window to buy tickets.
I'm surprised you knew about that.
Of course I remember it.
Yeah.
Of course I remember.
Don't even remind me.
I don't know if you saw, I think it was last episode. You weren't here, but I don't know if you listened to it. I owe you an apology. Because I called you crazy for not thinking the White Sox would win 90 games, and here we are post-trade deadline where Dylan Cease was the big talk. He doesn't.
I think you owe yourself an apology.
Are they 13 games under 500?
Now they're horrible, so I apologize for being delusional come the start of the baseball season.
I feel horrible for Liam Hendricks, though. Just absolutely.
Yeah, to beat cancer and then lose to
then Tommy John.
Tommy John.
He might retire.
Poor guy.
I wouldn't blame him if he does.
I feel so horrible for him.
It's just that might be his only way out of the White Sox is by retirement.
Very unfortunate year for those who have unfortunately gone through cancer. Trey Mancini and Liam Hendricks. Trey Mancini will get picked up though. He is a valuable.
I'm saying he's going back to Baltimore.
That would be insane. I would be very happy for him. I want him to go to a contender.
DH in Baltimore.
He doesn't have to be. He can just be that vet.
He'll do whatever. He can play first. Who plays first base? Is that Santander or no?
No, he plays right field.
I don't know. Shows what I know about the
Mount
Orioles.
Castle.
Oh, he's all right.
Mountcastle.
He's all right.
That's another one of those really young teams, the Orioles. And if anything, they got younger at the deadline. They bring in Jack Flaherty.
I think that was the move at the deadline. If you ask me.
They got Jackson Holiday, right? I don't know.
Yes, they did draft Jackson.
He looks like he's 12.
They brought in Shintaro Fujinami a couple weeks before the deadline.
Probably the worst pitcher in the MLB,
but
stats-wise.
He has been a bullpen pitcher for them, and he is. From what I've heard, he's been doing better with them out of the bullpen. So maybe he just wasn't built to be a starter, or maybe he wasn't built to be a starter with.
Or he just wasn't built to be an Oakland A.
Maybe he just wasn't built to be an Oakland Athletic. That's a very possible answer too.
I wouldn't be happy if I was there.
Yeah, I would have a 10 ERA if I pitched there too.
I mean, throwing in a football stadium, it's rough.
It's not a hitter's park, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess it's not horrible to pitch there, but it's not fun to just be a part of a team that inhabits that stadium.
You were talking about how bad Yankee was. Can you imagine how much worse Oakland is right
it
now?
was shocking. Like, well, yeah, it's probably not much better, if at all. But the fact that Yankee Stadium just opened in 2009, I was shocked at how trash that place was. You know, don't come at me, Yankees fans. It's just, you know.
No,
Your place is old. It's just the bottom line.
What place is old? What, the Yankee Stadium?
Yankee Stadium.
That's the thing. It's not even that old.
It's not even that old, but it looks
years.
old.
That's not. Yeah, it looks old.
You look
not
at
old for
Fenway, it
stadium.
still looks new.
That was what you said too. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Credit to you for that one.
That is what I said. Fenway literally opened the same year the Fenway or the Titanic crashed. So in 1912.
That's pretty cool, actually.
That's over 100 years ago, and yet it was a much nicer. It was very interesting. You can't walk around the stadium. Like, you know, most stadiums you can do the 360, but you can't do that. Like, I realized because once you get to the monster, it cuts off. So you can't do a full walk around the stadium, which was, I thought, interesting. But
yeah, that's all right.
Makes sense. So.
That's all right.
well, not really. Most stadiums now are made so you can do the full walk around.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
there's
but
a concourse through center, but there isn't anything like that in Fenway. So
maybe
very
that's
nice
part of the
stuff.
renovations they added when they proved that they're better than the Yankees by building a nicer stadium. It's always an option.
No, they'll
Always
never.
But they're not better than the Yankees. They're just not.
That division's tough. I mean,
Yeah, the AL East is tough.
it very well could be that the Red Sox have been pretty hot as of late. A lot hotter than the Yankees.
My only thing with that is the Yankees took so damn long to make a move at the deadline. So long. They're one of the last teams, I think, to submit a trade.
Well, how long was Judge out? Like a month? 2 months?
Isn't he still out?
No, he just came back.
he's back.
He already hit a bomb, and it was all over.
He was out for
Instagram.
about, I think he was out since like June 6th, something like that.
Yeah, and what about Stan? He's been out for a while, right? Or no? Was he playing? I was literally at a game, and I don't remember.
I think Stanton and Donaldson need to take an exit.
Really?
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Josh Johnson for the last time on a baseball field.
Dude, I've missed the Blue Jays days with him and Bautista. That was something special. 2016.
Those days are over. Where's Joey? I said Joey. Jose Batista now.
Did I say Joey too? I swear maybe I
His,
said Jose.
his nickname was Joey.
He's retired. He's got
Yeah, Joey
that man's
Bats.
still
Yeah,
playing baseball.
Counts.
If he is,
He's hitting bombs somewhere, bat flipping, doing something.
Yeah, he's not active right now.
Yeah.
He was last to Philly in 2018. Wow, that was that long ago. Dude,
Yeah.
this guy is like, geez, 42. That's nuts. Like some of our, oh man.
Well, yeah,
Stanton is listed as active on the Yankees roster, by the way.
I think you know what he was definitely playing when I was there. I'm pretty sure. I did get to see Garrett Cole pitch. That was interesting.
One thing we didn't talk about, I guess we did kind of talk about it last episode, was the Phillies, which I believe I was told that they should just bulk up their bullpen, but instead they go out and get Michael Lorenzen, who is definitely not a bullpen pitcher. And he started
He used to be in the
He's a
bullpen.
unit though.
his first game with the Phillies and pitched 8 innings of great baseball. So
That's a great get
He
by
went
them.
8 innings?
He went 8 innings.
Holy cow.
8 innings, 2 runs allowed, and a 4-2 victory.
Against who?
The Phillies.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Wait, what?
The Phillies.
Lorenzen pitched against his own
Or
team.
pitched against the Marlins. Sorry.
I was about to say.
Marlins?
Yeah, the Marlins. Yeah, they're a decent team.
It's just when the Marlins, when they don't pitch, they're not going to win games.
That's just too bad we didn't get him. I mean, didn't Chance think we were gonna get him, or was he did think that, right?
I
No,
wanted
he thought
Lorenzen and Alex Lang,
Yeah,
but
that would have been nice, but
so would Dylan Cease and Lucas Giolito. And Marcus Stroman would have been nice too. But the Cubs
Yeah.
didn't move him. They didn't move Bellinger.
I don't know why everyone thought the Cubs would sell. That division is still up for grabs. Selling right now would be
I
a
think they
chump
made that
move.
decision like day of. I think that was something that Jed Hoyer had to think about because that's not something you can just like willy-nilly throw away.
I think you're wrong.
I think they have a much better. Their hitting is better than the Brewers, but the Brewers' pitching has been lights out.
I think the Cubs had no intentions of selling at the deadline. No intentions.
I think Jeimer Candelario is a great ad for them.
Definitely.
I think that's what they need, is someone that is a veteran. He's been there before. He's played in Chicago. He loves Chicago. He's playing really well in Chicago. He's been there 2 days, and he's already launching balls over the wall.
2 4-hit games.
So it would appear that Jeimer Candelario may have saved the Cubs. It's just now on their pitching to do it, which
to say Jeimer saved the Cubs, that's a bit excessive.
The last couple nights, he's had 4-hit games in 36 runs that they've put up. He's had 4 hits.
Say he's played good.
Hits.
They were doing well without him, though.
He's added a lot of talent to a roster that needed help, I feel like they needed a little bit of help. I feel like they were struggling in places because Dansby went down with an injury earlier this year. Isn't Nico Horner injured right now too?
Nope.
No, he's healthy.
He's healthy.
I thought he was more of a fielder than a hitter, no? Or no, that was...
Nico can hit.
Oh, no, I'm thinking of the really short guy.
Dansby's doing good.
He was on the White Sox
Dansby's
for a
doing
while.
Nick Madrigal.
Yeah, that's who I'm... Yeah.
Dansby's doing much better.
2 strikes.
I just bunt with him on MLB The Show.
Dansby came back from his injury and was kind of subpar, but it would appear that he's doing much better since coming back from his injury.
He's a second half player. He was last year. A lot of players that struggle, they're going to do better in the second half.
How about this? Let me ask you this. Last night, post game, Christopher Morel swore the Cubs would make the postseason.
I think he's correct. The way they're playing now, you would be a fool to disagree.
Yeah, that's not that crazy to say right now.
Oh, he's wearing a White Sox hat, so you gotta realize that.
No, not.
I don't think the Reds are gonna really do much more than they can. I mean, they had a little bit of a hot streak there.
Yeah, De La Cruz, he's cooled off. We knew he would. He's
the hype has died.
Matt McClain is just insane. I think he should be up there for Rookie of the Year.
Oh wait, the Reds still lead that division. I had no idea.
Yeah, the Cubs are 2.5 back of the last wild card spot behind Milwaukee, and they're also 2.5 back in they're 3 back in their division.
That division is still up for grabs, and if the Cubs just keep winning like they have been, it's theirs. I'm calling it now. The Cubs will win that division. The Cubs will win the division.
You're thinking of something.
Cubs
to say.
or Brewers?
No, I don't think the Brewers got it.
What did Milwaukee
Brewers
do
have
at the
some
deadline?
pitching, man. They had the reliever and the starter of the month with
You're right.
Devin Williams and Corbin Burns.
You're right.
Who we lit up at the beginning of the year.
I don't think it'll be enough though.
Yeah. No, their lineup does on paper looks pretty weak. I mean, unless you're looking at Christian Yelich in 2018, but it's not Christian Yelich in 2018.
He's doing all right.
Oh, he's doing all right, but it's not 2018 all right. I mean, I'll tell you that.
Bellinger, man. Ha!
Whatever.
He's back.
And no player of the month.
He would not be doing that on the Dodgers right now.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I agree. He wouldn't, because some players, they just need a change of environment.
He would. Yeah.
You see it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
These good players, they turn bad.
World Series strikeout record holder.
But now look at
Cody Bellinger.
Career 200 hitter.
Look at him in Chicago. He's thriving. And
is he a career 200 hitter?
No, he's not. There's no way.
No, seriously.
Definitely thought he was.
I am just.
Not even close.
I will always be a Dodger hater, and I guess I will have to learn to accept that Bellinger is no longer a Dodger. But I still somewhat dislike him.
Yeah. I have some bias towards the Cubs, so I like.
Some?
I like
Yes.
seeing
Some?
good.
Just very little.
Just very little.
Very little.
Yeah.
Just very little. Curt, I'm gonna ask you a question, but I want you to be very not careful, but
I'll be careful.
Last week,
careful.
there was a little bit of swinging coming your way. How are we feeling?
I guess. I mean, it was all right. I don't even see. I didn't know you were asking me about this because I didn't know what I said about Jason's precious little Taiwan Walker, and I don't, because I don't know exactly what I said about him. I'm pretty sure I said on the line something along the lines of, well, if he's your only pitcher option right now, that's not exactly something good, especially coming into August, which then goes into September, which then goes into October. Then you got playoff baseball. But then I was saying that I don't think he's exactly the best option to have right now, and I think he is the Phillies' best option. Well, not anymore because they got Lorenzen. But hasn't Walker been their go-to guy lately? Isn't that what he said last week and why he called me out?
It is what he said last week. It's very true.
Which, is fair. Like, I was more or less just talking about him as a D-back, I thought. That's what I thought I remember saying, that, like,
He wasn't a good D-back.
He really
at
wasn't.
all. He wasn't a good Met at all.
No.
He's a little bit better.
Because if he was, he would probably still be either a Met or a D-back. We have very bad ownership. Shout out Ken Kendrick. But I doubt we would have been excited to let him go if he was a good D-back. But, hey, if he's turned it around in Philly, I'm happy for him. Happy to catch some strays when I'm not even in the state. I was across the country, not even able to say anything. And then I think Chance was upset about the Bellinger comments I made mere months ago. That
was like 4 months. That
was a long time ago. And that's fair. That's fair.
That was the first time we talked about the Cubs on the show.
If the Dodgers have no haters, that means I am dead. All right, I will just say that. So that means that I will permanently have a hatred, not permanently have a hatred towards Bellinger, but I just don't like him, especially because he is the World Series strikeout record holder.
He's a career 255 hitter.
Astros own him.
His career average is 255. So
Astros own him, and the pitchers weren't cheating. The pitchers on the Astros were not cheating, so they weren't banging on trash cans. The pitchers were not. So, what's fair is fair versus Bellinger.
That's true, yeah.
World Series strikeout record holder.
Garrett Cole struck his ass out like 8 times that World Series.
A million times. Yeah, it was crazy. But, he's doing good as a Cub, and I'm happy for him because that division's up for grabs. It's going to be very exciting. Same with our division. I don't think we're going to win our division at this point, but
no,
we're 4 games back. 4 or 5 games back?
I think we gotta hope for a wild card spot. The way the Diamondbacks are playing right now.
Yeah, we got. And that's
all it
hope.
takes is the Brewers to sputter out.
Take Brewers, Giants, and for the Diamondbacks to actually win games, which we have not. The whole month of July.
What were we like? What was like 6 for our last?
Yeah, last time I was on this podcast, the Diamondbacks were like 4 games in first place. Now they're 4 games in third place.
I would like to remind you at the deadline they were tied with the Dodgers for first place, and now they are.
I can't even be
5.5 back of the Dodgers.
Well, the Dodgers also have the easiest schedule ever.
The All-Star break.
They're playing Oakland now. They played Minnesota. Their schedule's so easy in the Diamondbacks.
At least we get to go to
everybody
Minnesota.
plays everybody. Let's not forget that. That's new. Everybody plays everybody. So they have to play them at some point.
Once. But
everybody plays everybody.
But it's the time they play.
Yeah.
But right after.
Again, some people play people more.
Right after the All-Star break, the Dodgers have had an easy schedule, and the Diamondbacks have not. That's why the standings look. I'm not saying that's the only reason. The Dodgers are a better team than the Diamondbacks.
There's still plenty of time.
There's plenty of time.
We played the Red Sox once. But we play the Dodgers, 5, 6 times?
They're a division opponent.
4 times.
I know.
4 times.
I know. 4 times. Sorry.
But the Dodgers' next couple look like this. They have the Athletics today, Thursday, weekend set against the Padres in a Monday. Then they're here for 2 games in the middle of the week next week. Then they have 4 against Colorado.
Easy.
Day off. 3 against Milwaukee. 3 against Miami. Day off. And then they travel to Cleveland and Boston, and then they're back home for 3 against the Diamondbacks. At the end of the month, they have the Braves going into September for 4 games.
I think they're going to win every single one of those series. I think they will.
As
long as no tragic injuries happen to any other good players, they're going to win all of those series. Their schedule is easy. What you just said, that's easy for the Dodgers.
Everybody plays it. The only thing about that is I get where you're coming from after the All-Star break. There's a significant difference between the two. I will give you that. The Diamondbacks, we talked about it last week, have a very hard schedule compared to what I've seen from the Giants.
And a very incompetent head coach.
I will give you that. The Diamondbacks do?
Yes.
Are you talking about Torrey?
Competent
I'm
or
talking about Torey
incompetent?
Lovello.
Sound off.
What'd you say?
Go ahead. Sound off. I want to hear this.
I think that after the Mets got swept, the D-backs got swept by the Mets, the team quit on Torey Lovello.
Which is what I said was their turning point, by the way.
The team
That's
quit.
the reason I called the turning point.
They quit on him. And after that, he's been putting out horrible lineups. He's refusing to get rid of Carson Kelly, refusing to get rid of Nick Ahmed, refusing to get rid of all these horrible bullpen pitchers.
He's better figure it out because we're not just going to fire him after this year. I don't want to.
He's under contract. But
I'm tired of that. I don't want to say, Monty Williams, we don't like him, get him gone. I get that, but Torey Lovello has been with us when we have been absolute shit. He has not been the problem throughout those last few years, I think. I think it's been the talent level.
Not the last 3 years. I'm saying he's the problem now. I'm saying right now.
I don't think so. I think that's
you're entitled to your opinion.
I think it's the people above him. I don't think it's the ownership.
When I watched the Diamondbacks,
you thought Ken Kendrick wasn't in charge. Which he is.
Well, I know.
I will give him this. Torey is the one in charge of setting the lineups.
Okay, he is. If the lineups are bad, the lineups are bad. But
if the lineups are bad, the team is bad. They play bad. They don't have good support where they need it.
Yeah.
And we talked about. I asked you, Preston, about Carson Kelly when he was coming back from injury. I said, "Is there a spot for him on this lineup?" And your answer was no.
No.
And I 1,000% agree with you. I do not think Carson Kelly.
I
needs
agree
to be
with that.
He's not a good hitter, and he's not a good catcher. His arm is weak. I mean, Zach Gallen likes to pitch to him. That's the only reason. I think that's the only reason he's on this roster is because
Definitely.
Zach Gallen.
Definitely.
You don't want to ruin that.
You want to
battery.
keep your ace happy.
You don't want to ruin
That's
that
how it works.
battery. But when Zach Gallen isn't pitching, I don't want him in the lineup
That's fair.
because he's just an 0 for 4 waiting to happen. 2 strike. You know, in the whole month of July, he didn't walk once. He struck out 12 times, didn't walk once.
How many hits did he have?
I think less than 10. It's horrible.
I would say that's great.
And okay.
Bad.
And why does Torey keep calling up Kyle Lewis just to send him back down 2 days later?
Well,
There's no answer for that.
Well,
It's
we
dumb.
sent him back down obviously now because we got Fam. Fam was a very last minute addition.
How do we feel about that?
I'm okay. I mean, I don't like him. Like I said in the group chat, I don't like him because he slapped Jock Peterson for no reason, for absolutely no reason. I think Fam is kind of a.
You asked me, I think Jock deserved it.
I don't.
I played fantasy football, man. I've had some people hoard players just so other people can't get them.
It's not even hoarding. It's like it's strategically dropping and adding players, which is a smart thing to do.
It's
sometimes.
a strategy, but it's a douche.
You guys killed me.
douchebag.
No, like I
strategy.
said, you can't when you. I mean, just like I'm not gonna. It's not at all the same thing as Jaw having a gun, but it's the same thing.
What?
It's the same example though. Is when you are a celebrity at this level, you have to set an example, and when you're going around slapping another person in public, like I said, it's nothing near the Jaw level. I'm just relating it to. They're mad at Jaw because he has to set an example, just
fair.
like Tommy Pham. I'm not saying this is at anywhere near close to the level that incident was. That was very.
All jokes aside, I agree. Tommy Pham should not have done that.
Yeah, because it was just. It wasn't.
But-
It wasn't it in like the outfield in public.
Yes, it was.
At Oracle Park or Field or whatever.
Yeah, it was during batting practice.
It's just crazy.
Just walked out and said,
Full pimp slap.
He warned him too. He said, "Next time I see you, I'm gonna slap you," and he did.
I mean, yeah.
So Tommy Pham is a man of his word? Question.
Yeah,
I guess.
Don't
I
forget.
didn't like it, but he's a D-back now. So I said I will say to Tommy Pham,
never brought to life.
he better earn my trust. Cause
he's always been a good hitter.
yeah,
That's about it.
He's hitting like 270 right now.
Yeah, and he didn't play every day with the Mets, and we got him for who? Jeremy Rodriguez, our rookie ball shortstop.
Oh my God, I
Thanks.
totally thought you were kidding. Torey called up Kyle Lewis on the 31st and sent him down today.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel.
I
kinda
wasn't
I
bad.
thought you were fucking
I
with
feel
me.
horrible, but like.
It did the same thing
What
with
happens,
him like
you know?
less than a month ago, like 2 weeks ago. I did the same thing.
So then let me ask you this. The trade package for Paul Sewald, and this is why I'm glad you're here today. Josh Rojas, Dominic Canzone, and Ryan Bliss. Overpay or underpay? Did they send the wrong pieces?
No, I think maybe we'll lose the trade in the long term, but now it's a good trade. Rojas, he stinks.
People see.
I love Josh Rojas.
He's batting
I
like
love-
what, 2-something on the year?
People seem to think
that.
that Canzone was the biggest give up on that trade, which I kind of agree with.
Definitely.
He's batting
Canzone.
3 on the year.
I hate to see Canzone leave, but Rojas, fans loved him out here, but he just
Well, it's because
just
he's
wasn't doing
homegrown.
it.
That's always going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, same with Cardinals.
Yeah.
You get rid of Christian Kirk, you're all sad because he went to the same high school I did. But other than that, you got to. It is a business at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Rojas went 0 for 4 in his.
He went to high school like
And I don't-
Goodyear, I think I looked it up.
I don't think Rojas has hit a homer since like June of last season.
Yeah, it's not like he's exactly earned the right to stay.
No, he got sent down to AAA for a reason.
Yeah.
And then he got traded for a reason.
And Alec Thomas
Wasn't
did the right
doing
thing. Alec Thomas, he got his ass sent down, and now he's back and honestly doing pretty good.
Yeah.
He's balling.
Yeah, He took the sign there saying, I don't want to go back down to Reno again.
Yeah. But Ryan Bliss, he was in the Future Stars game. He's had a good season, but again, like I said, Canzone, I think he'll turn out really good. I've never really paid attention to Ryan Bliss, but I know he's a good player.
116
and people also said
hits,
they were
runs in a 3.
What position is Lawler and
Shortstop?
Yeah, that's the other thing. I think people were okay giving up Rojas because we have Lawler and then what's the other guy? Wasn't it? I forgot. Blaze? No, not Blaze.
Blaze Alexander.
Yeah, Blaze Alexander. What position is he?
He's a second base.
Yeah, we have pretty good.
And we just drafted Tommy Troy out of Stanford.
Yeah.
We got infielders.
We'll be set.
But Paul Sewell, that's the main piece.
When is he gonna pitch?
When we have a save situation, I'm sure he might even pitch today.
Like Doval did,
because he's with the group, right? Obviously, yeah. Because
Fam's been there since the day after.
Because I saw that jersey. They were stitching it the other day. Fam's playing, so he's definitely.
He'll probably pitch today because you want to keep him loose. You don't want to put him in a save situation.
We're down 1 right now.
4 days, but yeah, Sewell, and he's under contract through next season. We have our closer for the rest of this season and next season. I think that's a good thing. We have needed a closer for the last 3 seasons. We kept trying to grab Mark Melancon, come here, Brad Boxberger. What was that dude's name? Greg Holland. Just didn't work. Because Hazen, he would try to grab these wash relievers like, come close with us. It worked with Fernando Rodney in 2017. It hasn't worked ever since.
What a throwback.
He got 40 saves that season, Kurt.
I know, but
he was great for the D-backs.
The freaking
the arrow. The arrow.
Yeah, whatever. The sideways hat.
Yeah, that bugged me. But it was
for his dad.
He was the reason the Diamondbacks made the wild card. But ever since then, it just hasn't. That little strategy of grabbing old closers hasn't worked.
Don't overlook Archie Bradley that year either in 2017.
You're right.
Best triple in MLB history.
Easily.
The loudest triple in MLB history, easily.
A relief pitcher hitting
the best triple.
Was it 2 RBIs?
In MLB history. It was like 2 or 3. And I think we were up like 1 when he hit that. So it was like, it wasn't obviously lead changing, but it was clutch.
And then the next inning he gives up 2 homers, but we'll forget about that.
Yeah, that was
last time I think Chase Field was ever that loud was when some no-name first baseman started a rally against Mariano Rivera in 2001.
Yeah, and the World Baseball Classic game against Mexico. I was there. Easily the loudest game I've ever attended.
I was talking about Diamondbacks game.
Yeah. Mark Grace, Game 7 World Series.
Yeah. Guy's a schmuck.
Sorry, Sandman.
Mark Grace is a schmuck. We don't like that guy.
And then who hit? Was it Womack who hit? Womack hit Grayson, right?
Yep.
Or no? Yeah.
Well, Grace got pinch ran for.
Because that double was ultimately the biggest hit of that inning.
Yeah, dude, that pitch. You look back, it was like at his feet, and he reached down and hit it down the line. I'm like, what? And then Gonzo did his thing after that. It was great.
I wasn't even live, but it gives me chills.
I do like Sandman, though. It's a great band, Metallica.
Bottom line, Mark Grace is a schmuck. No, just Diamondbacks active roster. Jace Peterson started the last 2 nights at third base. We talked about that as well.
Not too sure about that.
Christian Walker got a night off that he didn't want. Came in, pinch hit in the 9th spot. Got a single. Didn't really start a rally, but he was significant in helping the team, I think, keep themselves in it for longer than what they were. It was, 2-0 for most of the game last night, and then they ended up losing, obviously, 4-2. If you're and this is Preston, I'm going to pose you something here. If you are at a trade deadline and you have a roster like the Diamondbacks had pre-deadline, Jace Peterson or Josh Rojas?
Jace Peterson. Easily.
Interesting.
If you look at the Diamondbacks offense versus left-handed starters, it's awful. Mm-hmm. I don't know the exact numbers, but I know every time the opposing team throws a lefty, they suck. The D-backs suck.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Jake Lamb?
I love Jake Lamb.
Throwback.
Man,
he couldn't hit a lefty.
Hit like 38 homers that season, but still, Jace Peterson will help with that. And Emmanuel Rivera, he can hit righties. I don't know about Jace Peterson, but
Jace Peterson should not be in there. You asked earlier who can be in there. Like who else?
At third.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
Perdomo can play third. Take Evan Longoria off the IL with his injury, and he'll be better than Jace Peterson probably.
Versus lefties, on the year the Diamondbacks are batting .251 with a .717 OPS.
That's not great. .251 as a team against left-handed starters.
It's 18th in the league. The highest.
It's not horrible.
No, just kidding. It's not 18th in the league.
But we got 2 hits off
17th.
Yusei Kikuchi. We make Yusei Kikuchi look like Sandy Koufax. He stinks. We can't hit
What a great
bad left-handed
comparison.
pitchers.
Yeah.
You say Kikuchi and Sandy Koufax.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
So then if you're rolling out a lineup, this is for both of you. Obviously, Longoria's out right now. He's hurt. At third base, you're putting Emmanuel Rivera over
Obviously.
Jace.
Now, yeah.
Duh.
Jace has to prove himself to me.
Duh.
Very interesting.
But if you're saying Jace or Rojas, I'm taking Jace Peterson because I've already seen what Rojas can do, and it's not good.
Yeah, that's fair. Like I said, Rojas, not good on the year so far. He went 0 for 4 in his first game with the Mariners, which is unfortunate.
Oh, he's actually playing for them?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's unfortunately kind of the story of the year for him, I think. Is 0 for 4 and playing garbage. So it'll be interesting to see how teams like, even though they're nowhere near contention, teams like the Mets finish now that they've sold the basically entire farm because Washington didn't sell. They did get rid of, obviously, Jeimer Candelario, but I feel like they have younger guys who are wanting to prove themselves. So I feel like Washington might not be the worst team in the NL East.
They're bad, though.
Come the end of the season.
Because they don't have a lefty in the bullpen, the Nationals.
They're bad.
Yeah, that's the reason. Their pitching is horrible. Their offense isn't the problem. Their pitching.
But their offense, it kind of is also the problem. And they're not set up to be a playoff team. Is what I'm saying.
Obviously they're not a playoff.
Not anywhere close to it.
They're not even. Their best player is Lane Thomas. For Christ's sake.
Can't go from having
who chance was sure would make the All-Star game.
He should have.
He did.
Someone check on Nationals fans. I mean, in 2019 they had Juan Soto, Trey Turner, Max Scherzer, Kyle
They won their
Schwarber.
ring. They got their ring.
I guess you're right. They did win a ring. That was kinda crazy.
On a season that they were supposed to be tanking. It
was real.
They won a World Series.
It was a real ring, unlike 2020.
Let it go.
Mickey Mouse.
Let it go.
No, it's legit, and I'll die on that hill because 60-game season isn't a real MLB season. Ask anybody.
I'm not saying it is, but okay.
No, we don't even need to talk about it.
Let's go into this.
No, you said you don't even want to talk about it.
No baseball or a 60-game season.
I'm not mad that it happened. I'm just trying to let you know that it happened and it didn't really count.
Don't look at me.
Well, I am, because the Lakers also won a ring that year,
which didn't count. No, I mean, I know that. I'm just kidding. The bubble ring counted a lot more than the baseball ring because, then again, there's a question because the Lakers, you give LeBron and all those old heads 3.5 months of rest before the bubble happened. That's not a regular NBA season. An NBA season is 84 games and then the playoffs, not 60 games, national pandemic, months and months of practice and rest, and then the finals.
So
that's just me.
This playoffs this season, it was in the conference finals. It was the Miami Heat and the Boston Celtics in the East.
I just want to say, I don't know what I started.
The Los Angeles Lakers and the Denver Nuggets in the West. Go back to 2020. What was the conference finals in 2020?
What are you talking about?
It was the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat versus the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Lakers.
Can I say?
So both.
That's the point.
That's the point.
But
it's the same teams. The bubble wasn't fake. If the same teams are still good now.
But what do you mean? But guess what? The Lakers didn't win the championship this year.
The Nuggets did. Yeah.
Because of outside factors that were uncontrollable.
Like Nikola Jokic.
Or the elevation difference.
I'm not understanding the argument there.
I'm saying if
they get swept.
So the four teams I just named still have the same stars that they did in 2020.
It's the same teams, which is the argument should have been same team, same outcome. No, it was same teams, different outcome.
You're saying, it's they had so much It's the same teams. It's still this the same competition like it was 3 years ago. You can't say it's fluke. If it was fluke,
you got real quiet.
If it was fluke, then the Trailblazers would have won.
It doesn't make sense because you're saying that. Yeah, I understand that it's the same exact teams, but that means that it should have been the same outcome then. Preston, it wasn't. you guys got absolutely steamrolled and embarrassed by Denver, in which we did not. I went to a game where we beat them. But you guys never beat
that makes
the Nuggets.
No sense. Though.
The Suns beat them twice.
Okay, can we move on? He's just pissing.
Man.
No, I actually no. I understand what you're trying to say, but I also don't understand how that makes it an argument because
James, next topic. He's pissing me off.
I guess. But I'm saying is like it is the same exact teams. I see that it's the same exact. And actually, the teams are different. There's a few different players on.
I said the stars.
Teams.
The stars are the same.
Yes, same stars. Then why did LeBron and them not win the finals this year?
Because the Nuggets were a better team.
Because of outside factors that were uncontrollable.
The Lakers were a better team in 2020. The Nuggets were a better team.
All I'm saying
this
is
year.
it is very fair to say that yes, those guys all had months and months of time off before the bubble. Because if you threw the Lakers right before the bubble were a mess. A mess.
Oh, they were only in first place. Yeah, what a mess they were.
No, I'm talking about
what are you
injury-wise.
talking about?
I'm talking about injury. Didn't they like fall apart injury-wise?
Oh my God.
No.
I thought like
Oh
Anthony
my
Davis was
God.
out for like a while.
He was healthy that whole year.
That was one of their healthier seasons of recent memory. Was 2020. I will give him that.
And the first game in the bubble, they beat the Clippers for the first place thing.
I'm just saying, in 2021 they lost to the Suns, and then in 2022 they lost
2021 without
to the
Anthony
Nuggets.
Davis.
In 2021, I don't even remember what happened. But no, whatever. You know, I just think it's funny because I like pissing off Lakers or LA fans in general. I hate LA. Shout out LA. I hate you.
So, like he says stupid shit, and then when I call him out for it,
I don't say
starts
stupid
laughing.
shit. It makes sense. It literally, okay.
All right.
Mickey
Okay.
Mouse ring for Dodgers makes
Let
sense.
the hill go. You come off the hill. Let's
all makes sense.
move the fuck on from this. Tonight
Let's talk about training camp.
is the Hall of Fame game in the NFL. It's the start of the
What even
preseason.
is that?
It's
I
a
never
preseason
understand.
game.
It's
That's
Aaron
all it
Rodgers'
is.
first game in a Jets uniform
There's
that I
no
will be
injuries.
watching.
Is he
praying that
playing?
He doesn't. I would hope that he would be playing.
Why would they play him?
They play?
I hope-
It's
yeah.
the first game of the preseason.
I'm worried at
You have to get him somewhere.
the injury amount.
I wouldn't play him yet.
However, last year's game in Canton was a fucking mess. Rain, disgusting. It was a long night,
I've never seen one.
and it was between two teams no one really cared about. I think last year was the Raiders and the Ravens, if I remember correctly. But tonight is the start of the NFL preseason. I'm very excited. I said this for an article that I wrote. I think, and I'm gonna start here, and we're gonna move away from this. I think this is the year that Justin Fields proves himself as like the franchise quarterback of the Bears, and I'll tell you why. Because as you said, we're gonna talk about camp. Everything I've seen coming out of Bears camp is that his chemistry with the receivers has increased significantly. I'm not gonna keep talking about it. We're not gonna keep doing that. What I do want to talk about is who in camp have you seen, whether it's the Cardinals or any other team.
Freaking Gannon, man.
Cardinals have the worst roster in football.
I know.
don't
Listen,
think
I
don't know. Your boy Clayton Tune looks like he's balling, dude.
dude, I still sit here shocked that they have us rated so low. I don't know what. I don't know. Win
it makes
2 games.
sense. It very under.
But no,
very
I think
understandably
Gannon
makes
is no nonsense, and that's already proved. There was like a thing I sent again to the group chat, and it was like, oh, you can't even be 10 seconds late to a meeting.
Humphrey
I think that's
said
good.
that, right?
That's who said that?
I think DJ Humphrey said
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah, and I'm like, that's good. They need to pull every single person there needs to pull their head out of their ass and act like they're a playoff football team when they're obviously not. But that's how it's done. You have Gannon, who literally just came off of a Super Bowl loss, but that's still Super Bowl appearance nonetheless. And you got to treat your team the same. And I think that's what he's doing. And I think that's gonna. I don't think it's gonna make us a playoff team, but it's gonna work in some way.
I think we'll win 5 games.
Fair.
And I really
Five's
hope
more
very,
than 2.
That's a very generous number.
I think we'll win 5 games.
Okay,
I look at
Mr.
this-
90 games.
I look at the
Mr.
schedule.
90 games for the White Sox.
If you watch the Cardinals last year, we would be in games. We only lose by like a touchdown.
Yeah.
And yeah, we lost J.J. Watt. Yeah, we lost a lot of players actually.
He owns the soccer team now or something.
But okay, you know Cameron Thomas out of San Diego State, the D tackle.
Who?
Cameron Thomas on the Cardinals. He has
Smell that?
impressed me last year.
I smell favoritism.
It's a little bit, but still,
That's what I was waiting on.
it's still. Cameron Thomas is going to be an absolute beast for the Cardinals next season. Mark my words.
Sure. I don't know who he is, but just found out about it.
You're a free agent Cardinals fan, so you.
I am because, dude, what is there to like? People think we're gonna be like. People think we're gonna like. We're gonna win negative games. Like we're gonna be so bad that we're gonna just somehow have a record that no one's ever even seen before.
Wait, hold on. Are you telling me that you expect the Cardinals to be a Super Bowl champion every year?
Or a playoff team every year?
Or a playoff team every year? Is that the vibe I'm getting from you right now? That's what you're saying.
You're implying it, Curt.
The words that you are putting out there are implying that you will not root for the Cardinals until they are a playoff team consistently.
I never said that.
You're implying that. You're implying
camera. You just got that. They're putting words in my mouth.
No, we said you were implying it.
I'm just pointing out how bad they are. How does that at all me say like I don't have to be? They don't have to be a perfect team for me to like them. You know, they just have to be a team I respect, and I don't respect them right now. And I think that's fair.
Okay.
I don't respect them right now.
I don't respect them.
No, that's fine. That's completely optional. No, that we can move on. Teams that deserve respect are making news in the league. The Lions, for the first time ever in the Ford Field era, have sold out every home game. Up to this point.
You keep giving chances to people who we're not even sure if they can perform in the NFL.
The Lions?
No, I'm talking about the Cardinals.
I just ask you to move on from that? Didn't we just have that conversation?
We're talking about whatever.
Let's talk about all the injuries that have happened in training.
I'm getting words put in my mouth.
There's been a lot of camp injuries.
It's a scary amount.
It's going to happen.
Cooper Kupp, just like what? That was like 2 nights ago? Cooper Kupp. Jalen Ramsey, he tore his...
Now they're trying to change the kickoff format, and I don't think you're going to have any of that.
Oh, yeah. One thing I did want to talk about. Do you think there is a quarterback competition going on in L.A. between...
I hope not. That would be
Matt Stafford and
pretty embarrassing for Matt Stafford.
No, Levis is on the Chargers.
That's the other LA team.
No, he's on the Titans. I'm thinking of someone else.
Stetson Bennett.
He puts mayo in his coffee.
Stetson Bennett's been balling at camp. Stetson Bennett has been balling out at Rams camp.
You run out the person that you won a Super Bowl with, Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, I don't think that makes any sense, James. Where'd you hear that?
That he's been balling out at camp?
Sure.
Every clip I've seen is he's been balling out.
Instead of L.A.,
people are like, he's 25.
How about San Francisco, James? Quarterback controversy there.
Oh.
Do you give Trey Lance another shot? I think.
What did I say?
I think Christian McCaffrey.
We've had this conversation before, and to Chance, did you say Christian McCaffrey's a better quarterback?
Bro. We lined up
I said it before, a few times, and I don't remember who it was called me out on it. I think Trey Lance was a draft bust. I mean that
Chance
from the bottom of my heart.
Because didn't you say he was a bust because he got hurt?
Yes, he's not a scheme fit for the Niners in my eyes.
That was like episode 1 type shit right there.
So
that's throwback.
Purdy, Lance, or Darnold, I go with Purdy because he proved to you that he can lead you to the promised land. He led you into the playoffs. You lost a game to a team that was significantly better, I think, in the Eagles. Sure. I think you roll with Purdy because you show him that you believe in him, and he's the first Mr. Irrelevant in years to ever do anything. Does that matter? No, because the way he plays is much different.
Well, if you're getting drafted to the NFL,
however,
where you're going to be decent.
Trey Lance does deserve his fair shot.
Yeah. Say Trey Lance just balls the F out in training camp.
Yeah.
Start him.
Definitely. I think you give him an option. You give Purdy the time. And if anything, you use Trey Lance and Sam Darnold to make Purdy better. You don't rely on Purdy, I think. Or you don't rely on Trey Lance, I think. I think that Purdy is going to have to prove himself this year. If he's going to run the offense for the entire season, it's going to be different than when he comes in late in the game. They all support him. And then he runs it, and they win multiple games. It's different starting the year with a team versus coming in late in the year and pushing to the end of it. When you already have that base built between everybody else versus when you start the season with them and you have to restart all that chemistry. It's very different.
Yeah, you're right.
And the Niners couldn't decide between Trey Lance and Jimmy G until Jimmy G got hurt. Then they had to go with Trey Lance. And then Trey Lance got hurt. And then they had to go with Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I think now you have to go with Trey Lance. I think you have to. It's your, second overall pick he was? Third?
Trey?
Yeah.
He was up there.
He's up second or third, maybe fourth. I don't know. There was a lot of quarterbacks picked right there. And I was working on draft night. I don't remember. But you have to. You have to try to tell Trey Lance, show me something. Because Brock Purdy has shown us something. That he can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Lance has not. I think you should let him try.
I think honestly Trey Lance, if If he doesn't prove to the Niners that he's that guy that can run their offense for them,
2-quarterback system. You never know.
They won't do it because
that would be crazy.
Sam Darnold can't do it. Sam Darnold's had how many chances to run an offense, and how many times has he sputtered out and ended up somewhere new?
He gets like mono or something.
Sam Darnold is not even on the table in my eyes.
What team is he on?
He's on the Niners now. He's their third quarterback.
I did not know that. That's crazy.
So I think you give Trey Lance a shot. If he doesn't prove to you that he's able to run the offense that you want to run, then you pull him out and you say, hey, Brock, we've seen you do it before. Do it again. You have the weapons around him. Debo.
God, the weapons.
McCaffrey.
George
Kittle. There are opportunities there for
don't even
Purdy
need a quarterback. They're so good.
No.
Like, seriously, just
McCaffrey can literally do it all.
Well, not even McCaffrey. You can hike a few plays to Debo. Hike the ball to.
I can see it now. McCaffrey's going to throw like a 40-yard touchdown next season.
Imagine
on like a fake reverse. Kittle
Debo just runs a go route and you just chuck it up.
Well, I'll tell you what. With that, we will depart for the week. We appreciate you for listening to episode 16 of the Wildcard Podcast. Mm-hmm. We will talk to you after the Hall of Fame game, a little bit farther into the preseason.
It's football season.
For Curt Arnold and Preston Grace, my name is James Mackey. Follow us on TikTok and Twitter if you haven't already.
You've been listening to the Wildcard Podcast. Download and subscribe today on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more.